Hey everyone, welcome to the Tridion Expert Summit EMEA Region 2021. Myself is Pankaj Gaur. I work for Content Bloom, and my session is pretty exciting. I will be talking about business intelligence and how we can apply the principle of the business intelligence to get better insight about our Tridion content. And the main objective would be to get those insights converted into data-driven decisions that could be utilized by the various stakeholders for the content and get the maximum out of Tridion platform. Before we move into that, I would talk a bit about myself. Um, I'm based out of New Delhi, India. Have been in this space of IT since last 16 plus years, working with Content Bloom as a principal consultant as well as director of delivery in the APAC region. I have been honored with 6 Tridion MVP awards and working as a solution architect, consultant, and a strategy builder in my day-to-day life. Very brief agenda. I'll give a brief overview about what BI can do in general and how we can get some insight, some use cases by applying BI principle and maximizing on our ROI onto the content. I talk about a very logical architecture, pretty much technology agnostic. I'm not inclined towards a specific technology stack, but yeah, we will take some examples from different technology vendors. I do a small demo. I have it, and then I will be open for any questions. So before we get into the business intelligence, let's see how impactful it is. A few statistics shows it. There are some predictions from Gartner, which are mentioning like by 2022, 90% of the corporate strategies will explicitly mention information as a critical enterprise assets and analytics as an essential competency. And another prediction from Gartner suggests that by 2023, data literacy will become an explicit and necessary driver of business value, and demonstrated by its formal inclusion in over 80% of data analytics strategy and change management programs. Then there has been a survey done by Dresner, which comes out like more than 46% of small businesses use business intelligence tool as a core element of their business strategy. There has been a MicroStrategy report, which did a survey with a variety of users, and the outcome of that survey was that BI and data analytics helped 64% of users improve their efficiency and productivity, while 56% of users claims BI enables them to make more effective decisions. So that's pretty exciting to see like how BI is helping up in every area, be it the digital marketing, be it the manufacturing, be it retail, in each and every area. And the primary reason I see the shift from a process-driven organizations to the data-driven organization. So what BI can do for you? Let's take a few examples that we see in typical organization day to day. So are you really missing the big picture? Seeing multiple versions of truth, having data issues, experiencing report and data silos, lacking effective data insights, lacking predictive data, experiencing report and data security issue. Really, I think many organizations sees it, they improvise on it, and then after some year, they again see it because it's a continuous improvement process over there. What you wanted to have probably is consolidated data, centralized reporting, improved data visibility, reduced report building efforts, data-driven insight, improved security. So how BI can help that? BI can allows you to have a big picture, manage your big picture by consolidating data from multiple environment, multiple sources of data, various data collection processes, and have a one single consolidated data set. You can utilize that to make informed decision using data-driven analytics on it. getting insight about all your data anytime, anywhere, any channel. There's no restriction that you have to go into a specific devices. You can ensure to have that information available in a easy to read format anywhere. The most important part, having single source of truth, having your master data management applied over there, so that one specific data is very much consistent and not having its duplicacy anywhere. Lower cost, certainly you will be having lots of lower cost when your data is all consolidated at one place. You don't have to manage multiple systems. You don't have to go here and there to look for the data and then come out with the inconsistent results. Consolidation of data from multiple environments, data-driven decisions. Yeah, so that's where the business intelligence applied. That's the main objective of it. That you have all your data consolidated, you apply all your principles, all your parameters, get various insights which help you to do the data-driven decisions. Deepen your organization knowledge, identifying any silo in the data, into the content, into the processes, increase competitive advantages, and improve availability of the data. So that's business intelligence in general, but how you can apply it in Tridion? I mean, Tridion is content management system where it is going to help in case of Tridion. So there could be a variety of use cases where we can apply these insights. What I've seen in my entire career of Tridion, we have been implementing various custom applications, custom scripts, and getting up some information about the data to do something. Okay, some of the use cases I'm gonna explain, and let's see how that is gonna help you as a in terms of overall decision across the organization. So few metrics. These are some example. You can elaborate in multiple way, but as a content manager or as a CIO even, I may be interested in what percentage of my content is translated or localized, and in which location languages, and the relevant details around it. This could help me get a better insight about whether I'm getting up the full power of my content and delivering it in a more relevant languages or more localized version to the relevant geographies. Another could be when looking at year-over-year trend, what percentage of your content has not changed? Does your content really aged? Like since last 5 years, you haven't changed any content. Is it still the same impact? You have some hero images or banners running up on your website, but that image has not changed since maybe 5 years. I mean, is there some on homepage? It is really easily visible, but what about all the other pages? Is it creating the same impact? So getting up that data at just a click can help you out. Okay, what content changes we really need to do? What percentage of your content is created but not currently published? I can share a real story. I have been working for a customer where we figured out more than 20,000 items, which includes the component and taxonomies primarily, are there but nowhere used. They are not even published anywhere. They're just created but never been used, or created, used, and then unpublished but not been used since long. And that is just increasing your costing, right? That is increasing your maintenance. That is increasing the errors probably. So that could be one case. You can get what percentage of content is created but not currently published, all through applying your BI principle, managing your data, those critical data in a specific format. Schema-wise categorization of content. Little bit from the content perspective, when you are planning to have migrations, upgrades, etc., or even a completely revamp of your content. It is really helpful to figure out what is the categorization of my content on a schema, and whether how much impact it would be if I change the schema. And then gathering up inside about images, digital asset modifications, and their impact. We can get some third-party integration as well to get some more insight around these data. But yeah, these are some of the use cases that can really help you get best out of your content and best out of your trading platform. How do we do that? What could be the best practices around it? We can write some PowerShell script. We can write some core services script. We can write some actual applications, embed that into the Tridion custom pages, and get all those things. We have all done that. We have all seen it multiple times. I have been working on some specific implementations and come out like what could be the logical solution for it. So I'm going to show that in a moment. This is our sheet. So on the left side, if you see, I have my source as Tridion. What I will be doing from Tridion, I would be using the content APIs or through the GraphQL or through the various API that Tridion provides based on the data that I need to get. I fetch the data, typically in the JSON format, and perform the semantic modeling, store it into a storage. It could be RDBMS or NoSQL databases. That depends basically what my data is, how it looks like, how much data it is, variety of parameter over there to decide whether I'm gonna choose a RDBMS or a NoSQL database. But yeah, let's consider it is some storage that we are gonna take the data and store it out and apply the transformations into it. So what do I mean from the transformation here is all about flattening the JSON, cleaning it up, deduplicating, removing any unnecessary data, and sorting it out, similar things. So for transformation, if you, let's say for example, you're on a cloud, you can typically use Azure Data Factory to do that transformation. If you are working in an on-premise setup, then you can probably use Microsoft SQL Server integration service or termed SSIS. So these tools, and there are many more tools. As I said, like I'm not inclined towards any specific technology, but there are many other tools which can apply various transformation onto the data received, even in JSON or XML format or any other format. So once that semantic modeling is done, next part could be generating more sophisticated data models. Cubes, we call them. So doing the aggregation in cubes if the data is too much. Like we have seen there are thousands of publications, 200 websites. If you're fetching up that kind of a data, the data would be very, very huge. And the reporting that we probably generate would be very slow. So a flat table structure or even NoSQL may not be that performance oriented, but more sophisticated data structures like Cube could really help it out. So we do the aggregation into it. And again, for example, we can use the tools on cloud. There is a Azure Analysis Services, or we can use Microsoft SQL Server Analytics Service or SSAS. So this can help us transform our data into the cube. And here we can create a connector through our visualization tools. So in the visualization layer, we will be creating the reports and dashboard, getting insight out of that data. So here I have chosen Power BI as a tool to connect with the backend data and do the reporting part on it. But for sake of that, you can use any visualization tool. It could be Tableau, it could be ClickSense. But yeah, let's consider we have used the Power BI. The next could be the advantageous thing that you can have the fully role-controlled access to this data and role-controlled access to the various report we generate. And then we choose to publish this report from our desktops or the development machines to the Power BI online services where it can be collaborated with different stakeholders. Or you can even choose to use another advanced version of Power BI called Power BI Embedded, which you can utilize to have these report embedded onto a web page or even Tridion custom page, for example. So that's how the logical architecture looks like in a nutshell. Again, it very much depends how our system looks like, what we really wanted to achieve, what is our short-term and long-term goal, and there would be some tweaking here and there. But in general, that will help us provide a um, very logical implementation of these kind of solutions. I will show a quick demo how it looks like. Some of the things that can give you a bit of understanding. So okay, here this is I've created one multiple reports. Basically, we can have a one single dashboard and get a connected journey around the reports. But just for the demo purpose, what I have done, two things. To this disclaimer, you can consider. This is supposed to be a real data, but due to the data security thing and the various NDAs, we have changed the content temporarily for this particular demo. And we have also not connected with the backend actual data repository, just to avoid any connection losses due to the VPN, etc. So we have this Power BI in an absolute offline mode as of now. But again, this would be as simple to have a live connection with the backend database and have a scheduled job, which could be updating this data immediately or as per the schedule whenever you want. So here, what we have done, we have fetched all the publications data, all the localization information about the publications, all the publications basically, and how much data they have been localized. So what this tree map is showing up that, for example, in Japan, so 030 content Japan publication, the data that has been localized is just 29.96%. All of the data is being used as it is from the English location. Similarly, if we go to the French content, it is just localized at 19.3%, 33%. And if you see like this particular PT, 030 content PD, just 5.85% content has been published. And this particular tree map can give a quick insight to the decision makers or the stakeholder what to do with the translation. Should we up? Why are we not having full 100% translation? Is there some gaps over there, or how do we deal with this translation thing? We can choose to have further get into the individual publications here, drill down into the specific items and see like what the localization looks like. I have another report which shows the individual components localization pattern. So I have this specific content and I see like this content is just 82% localized, and this is also showing up. So in Brazil, it is not localized. In China, it is localized. Czech, it is localized, and so on. And we will see like, yeah, Russia, it is not localized. So this is what is showing up. The red one is showing like this is not localized, and the green one, it is showing like all the countries where it has been localized. And accordingly, you can take content specific decision making as well. Another important use case that I've seen is the content aging. So what it gives you, how old is my content? Since when I have not changed? So let's say this is 1.5 year old, like 8th of June, 2019 is the date that I have set it up. And it shows like since 8th June 2019, 85 component has not yet been changed, which is the 2%, which is good. That's fine. But if I, let's say, change it out to maybe 1 year, so maybe what we call like maybe December 2020. So maybe 8th of December. So now you see, like since last 1 year, 2,492 component, which is 62% of the content, has not yet been changed. There is no change at all. And that can give some insight, like your content is gradually aging, and this content, the users of your website is just seeing 1 year old content, and there could be possible decisions making, like whether there are some specific content that we really need to change. And this gives a good insight, like what all these contents are there, what are the publication ID, whether they have been published or not. So a good sign. Oh, so we see like, okay, these are the content which is not, which are published but not changed since a year. And then these are the content which are not published, not changed, whether we should keep them, should remove them, should update them. This kind of a decision could be there. Another thing that I mentioned about the schema utilization. So this also shows up purposefully. I have schema IDs over here, but it is just like drag and drop of the field. We can have a more meaningful schema names over here just for data protection. We haven't done that, but yeah, we can have schema names over here, and that gives you a better insight how your content is spread across various schemas. So this is the schema that you see, which is with ID 95447. I know this is a generic article that we have created. So 82%, sorry, 24.88% is the one that has been created over there. So these are a few of the use cases, but what I really wanted to emphasize over here is a step-by-step process is there. And instead of creating random applications, there is a full-fledged application access, and we can apply various BI principles to get a quick turnaround on all these insights. So that's pretty much I have to show. I'm happy to answer any questions. So, okay, what additional licenses or costing apart from Tridion we need to bear for this report? Great question indeed. So licensing part, one thing is for sure, Power BI, I have used it. If you use Tableau, that is the licensing cost per user per month you may need to deal with. If I talk about Power BI, that I believe somewhere $10 per user per month is kind of the license additionally would be there. Then a majority of the licensing cost, additional licensing cost, depend upon your data storage. So let's say you choose to have some cloud-based database, let's say Azure Cosmos. So the costing of that depends how much data you're going to manage, how many queries you're going to do, what would be the utilization of that. So that would be a pay-as-you-go kind of a licensing that comes out with your data structure. So licensing costs typically mostly depend on your business use case. Let's say you choose to have, like we really wanted to have our reports embedded on multiple displays across our offices, for example, or our mobile web as well, so that people can get an easy access to them. You probably wanted to invest into the license of Power BI embed. But if it is just you wanted to have one single collaborative platform, I think Power BI comes up with like somewhere around $10 per user per month kind of a license. Another question: how much time it would typically takes to implement or configure the system in a new environment? Oh, very nice question. I would say I would divide it into two parts. So first part would be to really understand the environment, really understand how the Tridion system has been set up, how much data, content, publication, etc. you have, how the blueprinting has been set up. So really, the majority of the time would go into the understanding of the environment and doing the discovery of your existing new environment. Then the second part would come out in configuration and the data modeling part, which would largely depends upon your discovery. However, uh, the Tridion typically gonna be the same kind of a data structure when we fetch the data. So discovery is one part, but after that, when we fetch up the data and converting them these kind of a report, I believe 4 to 6 weeks would be the duration once we understand the system and in a position to get the data. After that, I think these 4 or 5 KPIs that I have shown, 4 to 6 weeks would be sufficient to implement them out. All right, I think no more questions. Oh, great. Thank you. Thanks everyone for your time. Really appreciate, and have a good one. Rest of the sessions. Thank you.